Playing Fortnite is really fun and distinct. You know, it's all different ways that you can play. It's not like other shooters where you can just shoot weapons and move. You have the ability to build, edit, shoot, and move. With all of these aspects comes great room for variety, but also great room for error. That's why it's not only important to not only practice doing the right things, but also practice not making mistakes. In this video today, we're going to be going over 10 of the most common and deadly mistakes that can be the difference between a victory royale and getting sent back to your favorite place. That is the lobby. No, that's not your favorite place. But before we start this video, if you guys are looking to get better at this game, click the link below to go to ProGuides.com, where you can play with the best players in the world. Sign up for our membership at ProGuides, and you're going to get a ton of incredible content from the best pro players like Benji and Mongrel, and more World Cup champions coming out soon. If you want to compete in Fortnite, you got to check out ProGuides.com. What's going on, guys? It is your motivation guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. Make sure to connect with me on my new Insta. That's right, my new Insta, which is at Your Motivation Guy. Once again, at Your Motivation Guy. Would love to connect with you guys. I believe in you guys. This is your year, although it's about to end, to be great. All right, we got a whole new year about to approach, and we're going to take it to the next level. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and get my favorite candy. Come on, say it with me. It's that bunch of crunch. That's how I get my things going. Let's do this. You know, one of the biggest mistakes that tons of people make is not warming up. And we can't really blame you. You know, it's just really easy to skip warming up in creative when you're getting on to either play arena or pubs. But guys, you gotta start doing warm-ups if you're not already. Warming not only gives you the ability to not only get it to your norm, but it's also great practice that perfects skills you already have, meaning that you're improving besides just warming up. Some of the best ways to warm up are playing creative 1v1s against friends or playing creative warm-up maps. We've made many videos before where we show you guys great map codes for warming up, so we suggest that you go watch one of those in order to just get a better idea of how to utilize the warm-up maps to their max. But for the purpose of this video, here's a map code that's great for warming up your editing. All right, here we go. 7155-8733-7511. Use this map by running into the walls, utilizing the different running speeds. The faster the speed is, the faster you're gonna have to edit in order to keep moving. Now that all the utility items have been removed except traps, it's very important to know the best effective way of using them. You know, the problem is that many people are still making the same mistake from Season 3. This mistake is placing traps on the side walls when an opponent is boxed in. Sure, placing a trap on a wall can damage an opponent and eliminate them, but it's insanely easy to counter. All your opponent has to do is just walk over to the other side and the trap will never activate. Instead, what you want to be doing is either placing the trap on the roof or the floor. Once you place it on the roof, all you do is flip your ramp. This is going to create a barrier between you and your opponent while also exposing them to the trap. Another really cool trick that you can utilize is quickly editing a half ramp and then resetting the ramp. This is going to activate the trap so that it comes down and it's going to damage your opponent regardless of how fast you reset the edit. Finally, you can also place a trap on the floor when you flip the ramp initially. This is going to guarantee a kill if your opponent has more than 150 health. And best of all you got to do is break the ramp and they're done. Now that players have become more advanced, almost everyone attempts wall edits as soon as they get a wall. This means that the next time you get someone's wall, they're going to be waiting for you to open it up. This is going to put you at a severe disadvantage as you're going to have a delayed pullout time on your weapon, whereas your opponent already has theirs out. In order to do this correctly, you want to do tricky and unpredictable edit plays. The first is to make a quick window edit and then close it almost instantly. This makes it so that your opponent is going to attempt to shoot you, causing them to actually shoot the wall. When your opponent's shotgun hits the wall, it's going to destroy the wall and give them a delay until their next shot. They're not going to expect you to reset the wall either, meaning that you're going to have about a second before they realize what just happened. This gives you a great window of time to take a shot and deal massive, unpredictable damage. Overbuilding is a very common and deadly mistake that many players tend to make when they're playing against other opponents that are decent. This usually happens when, you're build fighting and when you feel like you need as much high ground as possible to have a better chance of winning. Well, this isn't true. A good rule of thumb is to be around 2 to 3 levels above your opponent. And that's really about it. Anything above that could cause serious problems such as being shot down and taking fall damage, or even just being shot down and just damaged while you're free falling. You never want to abuse high ground, my friends. What you should be doing is using your high ground to your advantage as soon as you get it. This is what you want to do. You want to start pushing your opponents once you've gotten the high ground. Don't just keep building up in hopes of just getting a better advantage. An even better thing to do is actually move around the same level you're at and try to find angles to put damage on your opponent. This is going to catch them off guard, and it's going to give you free hits that they won't expect. This is what the majority of all pro players do when they're in fights against other skilled players. Whether you're on controller and have aim assist or not, ADSing can make a huge difference in your aiming. Sure, on controller, you used to get lock-on aiming, but no matter what changes are made to aim assist, the core concept of tightening your reticle and reducing spread, all while making your shots more accurate, don't disappear. And these apply just as well to keyboard and mouse players. Alright, so from now on, every time you're in a shotgun fight, where you're taking a shot at an opponent and your feet are on the ground, make sure you quickly zoom in with your ADS before you shoot. Shotguns have a special pellet spread, which makes ADSing very effective. This is going to make your shots more accurate, and it's going to provide a new feel for aiming. You'll definitely notice the improvements the first time you use it, and you're going to become better adjusted to the new style of aiming with just a few hours of practice. In the long run, it's definitely going to benefit you guys. The next huge mistakes that many players make when playing Fortnite is not looting. What are you doing? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people in the end game with horrible loot, simply because they're too impatient to just spend an extra minute or two looting the area around them. Spending time looting much of the area, you guys, as you can, is going to make a huge difference in the quality of weapons you have during the end game. In games like Fortnite, every chest or loot spawn you check is an opportunity to get very good weapons. So make sure you're spending every bit of extra time you get looting chests instead of just rotating too early or looking for fights that you shouldn't even be picking in the first place. Remember, surviving is the goal in Fortnite games, as you can get the most amount of points and XP for survival rather than just eliminations. That's why all the pros fight to get to the end game. With the introduction of the new chapter, many players haven't adjusted to the new map. What this means is that a lot of you guys are going to go ahead and land somewhere without perfecting your landing and essentially wasting a ton of time in the air waiting to get the drop spot. This is because the majority of you have probably adjusted to the old map and knew good places to land over in order to drop low and basically maximize the efficiency of your drop. Now that there's a new chapter, many of those old drop zones either don't exist or don't even work the same as before. That's why, guys, man, it is so important that you spend some time learning the lowest points of the map, which is where you want to be when your character pulls out their glider. The lower the area you're pulling your glider out in, the later your Fortnite character is going to start gliding, meaning you're going to be falling much faster for a longer period of time. Being in these areas is going to get you closer to the ground, giving you an advantage against your opponents who have bad drops. A huge mistake that has been happening more often in Chapter 2 is players rotating too late in the zone. This is due to two reasons. First, mobility items have been removed, making it harder to rotate. Many people who are used to relying on mobility items for fast rotations are now paying the price because they can't rotate. Second, players are relying on things like the bandage bazooka and fishing to keep them alive while they're in the storm. The problem with this is that you're not going to be able to outrun all the storms no matter how many fish or bandages you have. And a lot of times, you're going to run into other players due to the large amount of people who keep making the same mistake. Fighting someone in the storm when you're far from the circle, oh my goodness, that can end up being the game for you. So you guys should definitely start getting smarter about rotating and stop relying too much on the medical items you guys have been adding. One of the common mistakes in this new chapter is players thinking that they can still build fight and be able to survive using old tactics that players used back in the older seasons. Now that everyone goes for in-games and players have become much smarter and much sweatier, it's just much more common to find people in boxes going for third-party kills or snipes rather than seeing two opponents build fight to high ground. This is why you guys need to start adapting to the new meta if you haven't already, alright? Turtling, tunneling, and making sure that all sides are covered is much more valuable than being able to perform at a high ground retake. We're in a chapter where being able to 90 faster than the other opponent is not going to get you very far if your aim isn't good as theirs. And that's just because of how the gameplay style of players as a whole has become now. So get into creative and start practicing your box fights because these skills are what we truly need to win games. And at the end of the day, you can practice everything that a good player does and master many skills, but if you're not improving your personal weak spots and making sure that you don't have any weaknesses, you won't get as far as you want to. Every player has strengths and every player has weaknesses, but the ones who become the best are the ones who eliminate those weaknesses. A common mistake many players make is not watching their own gameplay, and I say this a lot on my Insta to you guys, and finding their mistakes. A lot of times after a game, a player is going to instantly start back another one and just forget exactly what they did wrong in the first place. This isn't what you should be doing if you want to improve, okay? And at the very least, you should do a recap in your head and just see what you could do next game to avoid letting the same thing happen to you again. So guys, number 1, make sure to warm up, all right? I can't stress this enough. Number 2, use those traps. You aren't Superman, sometimes you're gonna need a trap to do damage. Number 3, don't be predictable, mix it up. Number 4, don't overbuild. Please don't overbuild. Number 5, use ADSing. Most heavy damage shots are by ADSing, so start doing it. Number 6, not looting enough? Well, who do you think you are, Rambo? Number 7, getting a bad landing. Oh my goodness, don't always look to contest other players. Number 8, rotating too late. What are you waiting for, bro? Number 9, not learning how to box fight. Box fighting is key to in-games. Number 10, not looking back at your mistakes. Like, who do you think you are? Like, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this is your motivation guy. That's right, the one and only Keith Allen. Make sure to connect with me on my new Insta as soon as you can at your motivation guy. I want to inspire you guys to be great, not only in this game, but also in life. We really, really do believe in you, man. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't surrender. You got greatness inside of you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you guys thought and what you'd like to see next. We strive to bring you guys daily quality content, so do us a favor by liking this video, subscribe to the channel, and show ProGuys.com some love for bringing you this video. Thanks for watching.